Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our public hearing of the draft fiscal year 2026 intended use plan for the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund. My name is Jim Ostrowski, and I work in Sorry about that. I work for the Environmental Support Division here at EGLE, and glad to have you here with us today. We've got about 24 people logged on. There might be a couple other people joining us shortly. Just a couple housekeeping reminders is that the lines are muted today. We will explain how we're going to unmute them to take comment this morning. Just a moment. If you do have an issue or anything like that, you can type it into the Q&A box and we can help you address that. We are recording this public meeting and we will be putting it up on our YouTube channel in the next couple of days. You can look for it there if you know of somebody that wants it. I am going to now turn it over to Luke Hurley, who is going to share his screen and start our remarks.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Luke Hurley, and I will be serving as the hearing officer for today's public hearing on the draft fiscal year 2026 intended use plan for the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, or DWSRF. With me today are other EGLE staff who will be assisting in this hearing. To describe how this hearing will work this morning, I will begin with some background information about why we are here today. I will then describe the purpose of the hearing and how your comments will be used. Following that, I will outline the procedures under which we will take your comments. Finally, it will be your time to provide comments. At the end of the hearing, I will provide a short summary in closing. The Finance Division of EGLE is responsible for the DWSRF program, including the intended use plan. The law governing those responsibilities is Part 54 of the Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Act of 1994, PA 451, as amended. The Drinking Water and Environmental Health Division of EGLE is responsible for establishing and administering set-aside activities. The law requires EGLE to hold one or more public meetings to provide recommendations for the development of the intended use plan as it relates to the set-asides. This hearing serves that purpose. Additionally, EGLE is sharing the draft intended use plan today to seek public comments. Materials related to this topic have been distributed to project applicants and their consulting engineers and were made available on our public webpage on September 9th. Please note that the FY2026 DWSRF intended use plan is brought to you today as a draft. Everything in the plan remains open for further consideration by EGLE. I will now outline the procedures we will use in taking comments. To ensure this hearing is conducted in a fair manner, we will follow this process. If you indicated you wanted to make a comment when registering, we will call your name and allow you to unmute. When called on, please state your name and group, association, municipality you represent, and make your statement. If you have written comments or materials you would like to present, please submit via email or mail. Each person will be given 5 minutes to make comments. Please begin wrapping up your comments and end within the allotted time. If need be, we will indicate when your time has ended. After we have gone through the list of people who have indicated they want to make a comment, we will then open comments up to the rest of the group in attendance. You can raise your hand and will be called on. We will allow you to unmute and you can make your comment. Please understand the purpose of the hearing today is to provide an opportunity to receive and listen to your comments only. The hearing process does not allow for open discussion or questions. EGLE staff will not be responding to questions or comments during the hearing, but will consider all comments received, both verbal and written. This hearing is being recorded, and your comments will be a part of the information EGLE will consider in making its decision on the final FY2026 DWSRF intended use plan. These comments will determine the distribution of DWSRF loans and loan monies to Michigan water suppliers to finance capital improvement and establish amounts to spend towards set-aside programs as allowed under the State Drinking Water Act. The public comment period will be open through the close of business on September 29th, 2025 at 5 p.m. Written comments can be submitted to EGLE Finance Division, Water Infrastructure Funding and Financing Section, P.O. Box 30457, Lansing, Michigan 48909-7957, or via email to EGLE-WIFs@Michigan.gov. At this time, I will ask Brandon Onen, EGLE's Drinking Water and Environmental Health Division Assistant Director, to provide an overview of the proposed drinking water set-asides. Brandon will also read into the record any requests relating to set-asides that have been submitted for staff review prior to today's hearing.
Thank you, Luke. The proposed set-aside from the fiscal year 2026 appropriation are identified in the intended use plan. In addition to administration of the fund, activities that will be supported with these funds in fiscal year 2026 fall into the following eligible program areas: administration, small system technical assistance, wellhead protection, public water supply supervision, and local assistance for capacity development. Specific activities and positions that will be funded in fiscal year 2026 are described in work plans prepared for the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Copies of these work plans are available on the DWSRF webpage at www.michigan.gov/DWSRF. The expenditures proposed in these work plans and the draft intended use plan are deemed necessary to maintain the current level of effort in these programs to implement federal drinking water standards in Michigan, including focus on the lead and copper rule revisions, support of source water protection activities, and maintenance of critical databases and supportive software. I'll hand it back over to you now.
Thank you. At this time, I will now ask Lance Wood to provide an overview of the proposed project priority list, which includes project planning documents submitted by water suppliers interested in project funding assistance.
Thank you, Luke. The fiscal year 2026 draft project priority lists contained within the intended use plan were developed in accordance with Public Act 451 of 1994, Part 54. It establishes the criteria for determining the priority ranking of drinking water projects seeking financial assistance from the DWSRF loan program. The fiscal year 2026 interest rates have been established by the director at 2.5% for 20-year loans and 2.75% for 30-year loans. Additionally, for disadvantaged applicants, interest rates are 2% for overburdened applicants for 20-year, 30-year, and 40-year loans, and 1% for significantly overburdened applicants for 20-year, 30-year, and 40-year loans. The draft priority lists have been provided to loan applicants and their consulting engineers, along with the draft intended use plan. I will highlight the criteria used to establish the priority lists. EPA defines a disadvantaged community in the DWSRF as the entire service area of a public water system that meets affordability criteria established by the state. Michigan's affordability criteria, referred to as Disadvantaged Municipal System Determination, is described on EGLE's SRF Affordability Criteria website. The disadvantage criteria in Michigan includes 2 tiers: overburdened systems and significantly overburdened systems. An applicant is required to have a disadvantage calculation completed every fiscal year if seeking qualification under this program. To qualify for ranking on the fiscal year 2026 draft project priority lists, applicants were required to have filed a final project planning document with the department by June 1st of this year. As required by the statute, the project planning document had to include public participation activities and a copy of the municipality's resolution of adoption. The Drinking Water and Environmental Health Division evaluates projects for priority scoring. I will now ask Brandon to explain the priority system as established in Part 54.
Thanks, Lance. Priority points are established by the Drinking Water and Environmental Health Division of EGLE and are assigned on the basis of information contained in the project planning document submitted to the department and through verbal or written communication with the applicant. As specified in the law, points can be awarded in 5 categories as follows: drinking water regulatory compliance, public health, drinking water quality, improving infrastructure, impacts on overburdened communities and significantly overburdened communities. The sum points from these ranking categories comprise the total points assigned to a project. When more than one project receives the same point total, tiebreaker procedures are applied. The tiebreaker used for fiscal year 2026 is the lower cost per population served. Projects with a lower cost per population served rank above higher cost per population served. The priority list attached to the intended use plan includes the assigned project number, a brief description of the project, the estimated loan amount, and the estimated funds allocated. Lance will now provide further detail on the fiscal year 2026 intended use plan. Lance?
The draft intended use plan addresses the following topics in accordance with U.S. EPA requirements: a list of projects eligible to receive funding assistance in fiscal year 2026, long-term and short-term goals to be achieved by the program, information relating to program management, fund financials, and an overview of use of set-aside activities. The Water Infrastructure Funding and Financing section has separated the fiscal year 2026 PPL into a traditional project list and a lead service line replacement only project list. All lead service line replacement bipartisan infrastructure law dollars and state lead and infrastructure grant dollars will be allocated to projects on the lead service line replacement only list. It is important to note the EPA has not yet allocated fiscal year 2026 lead service line replacement bipartisan infrastructure law monies to the states. The bill lead service line replacement dollars on EGLE's fiscal year 2026 list are those dollars that have not been spent in fiscal year 2025. All other funding will be allocated to projects on the traditional list. The total fundable range for fiscal year 2026 between the lead service line only and traditional project list is $331 million. EGLE received requests for projects totaling $1.8 billion. Therefore, not all of the projects that applied for fiscal year 2026 financing will receive a loan. Using a combination of principal forgiveness, DWSRF bipartisan infrastructure law, traditional loan dollars, and state grant money, EGLE is proposing to award a total of $340,049,000 in financial assistance to projects in fiscal year 2026. Michigan's capitalization grant from EPA for fiscal year 2026 projects is $22,884,000. Congress and the Safe Drinking Water Act have established additional additive subsidy authorities under the traditional capitalization grant that requires 14% of the capitalization grant be provided as additional subsidy to eligible recipients and at least 12%, but not more than 35% as additional subsidization to state-defined disadvantaged municipal systems. Michigan is planning to award all additional subsidization as principal forgiveness to disadvantaged systems in FY2026. 100% of the projects within the fundable range projected to receive loan dollars are considered disadvantaged systems. The bipartisan infrastructure law funds provide 3 federal grants to Michigan through the DWSRF. The DWSRF Supplemental Grant, the Emerging Contaminants Grant, and the Lead Service Line Replacement Grant. As was previously mentioned, the EPA has not released the allocation for the newest round of bill LSLR awards. Therefore, the funding shown on the FY 2026 LSLR only list is only the dollars that have already been applied for from EPA and either not yet allocated or turned back to the state from projects coming in under original estimates. Combined, these funds will work collectively with the traditional DWSRF capitalization grant and revolving loan dollars to allocate funds to applicants. Total fiscal year 2025 bill funds awarded in each category are illustrated on Table 1, found on page 5 of the draft intended use plan. For the lead service line only list, the Director of EGLE has established a total funding maximum award for lead service line projects. There are a total of 50 applicants seeking assistance for lead service line replacement projects. This approach confines dollars to 16 total lead service line replacement projects, giving limited funds. Overburdened projects cannot exceed $5 million or $5 million in total assistance. Significantly overburdened projects cannot exceed $10 million total assistance. And principal forgiveness is established at 50% of the total loan amount requested or EGLE's established maximum, whichever is less. Attachment 2 is the lead service line list, which illustrates the applicant's total award and total principal forgiveness. For the traditional list, EGLE anticipates awarding $264,554,000 in loan and forgiveness dollars to those projects on the FY 2026 traditional list. With the exception of the bill emerging contaminant funds, the methodology below was used to distribute funds in fiscal year 2026. Funds were allocated in priority order until all dollars were exhausted. Significantly overburdened applicants are awarded 23% principal forgiveness with remaining project costs awarded as loan dollars. Overburdened applicants are awarded 18% principal forgiveness with remaining project costs awarded as loan dollars. And bill emerging contaminant funds were awarded to the highest ranking emerging contaminant project, with that project receiving all of the bill emerging contaminant funds as principal forgiveness, with remaining project cost awarded as loan dollars. Thank you. I will now return the floor to Luke.
Thanks so much, Lance. We will now transition into our public comment period, and I will be bringing Jim Ostrowski in to help assist with that. He will take it from here.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Luke, Brandon, and Lance for that. And I'm going to ask our staff here that's listening to comments to please turn on your cameras. And it looks like you have. Thank you very much. Just also want to remind you all that Mike Gurney is helping me out in the background, so he'll be dropping a couple things in the chat. He already put in their details on where you can submit written comments if you don't feel like submitting or making a verbal comment today. So you can utilize that. Also the website to where you can find more information that the team referenced here. All right, so just a reminder, we're gonna start taking public comment, and everybody is gonna, if you want to make a comment, you can do so. Everybody's gonna have 5 minutes, and you will see a timer pop up on my screen. I will call on your name, and when I do that, we will unmute your mic, and you'll see a dialog box pops up, say that you can unmute yourself, and you'll do that. And then you can start making your comment. Just a reminder, like Luke said, when you do come up, please restate your name, because it's possible I might get it wrong, and also any association or group that you might represent if you do. When you registered, you had the opportunity to state whether or not you wanted to make a public comment today. We did have one person that indicated they wanted to. And for the record, I'll let you know that right now we have 23 people logged into the meeting. And so I'm going to call the first name. And then after that, feel free to raise your hand if you'd like to make a comment, and we'll call on those people with their hands raised. So the person that we had that signed up and said they want to make a comment was Norel Hemphill. Norel Hemphill. And Mike, if you could help me out and let me know if Norel is on or not.
They were, and it looks like they just jumped off. So I'll keep an eye out, but it looks like they are not currently on.
Okay, we will check back with you in a minute to see if that person does hop back on the meeting and wants to comment. Okay, so right now, I'm going to ask anybody that would like to make an official public comment today to please click the raise hand icon on your Zoom toolbar, and you can make the comment. It does not look to me like anybody is logged in by phone only. If we did have someone logged in via their phone, they could hit #2. But I don't see anybody logged in by phone. I'm not seeing any hands raised yet, so I'm going to give it a few more awkward seconds here while we wait to see if anybody wants to make a comment. Okay, well, it doesn't look like we have any hands raised. Mike, just do another check. Did Norel Hempel check back in again or not?
Nope, does not appear so.
Okay, well, with that, we did not receive any verbal comments during this hearing today. Reminder that we did put the link in there. If you want to make written comments, you can do so as well. I am going to turn it back over to Luke, and Luke, you can make your closing statement if you'd like.
Hello, everybody. I just want to say thank you so much for attending the public hearing today, and for your interest in the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund. Just a reminder, as stated on the screen also, the public comment period is open through close of business on September 29th, 2025 at 5 p.m. Written comments can be submitted to EGLE-WIFs@Michigan.gov or can be mailed to the address that has been sent out. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Luke, and the team for being here today. Thank you all for listening in. For those that did attend, just a reminder, if you'd like to make a comment, you can still do so through September 29th, 2025 at EGLE-WIFs, WIFFS at Michigan.gov. We did record today's hearing, and we'll be posting it up on our YouTube channel shortly. I'll be sending this information over to Luke after this meeting so he can follow up with an email to everyone who registered with those details. Thank you all for joining us today and taking some time out of your day to listen in. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.